This isn't a hairstyle. There's nothing going on here. I just wanted to look decent to shoot this video without doing too much, without stressing out too much. So today's video is another episode of Back to Basics. Last month we did a take on, was it highlighting and contouring? Yeah, highlighting and contouring, how to highlight, how to contour, because a few of you guys are struggling with that. And I did this poll on my Instagram, and basically the top three requested tutorials were how to highlight and contour, how to apply false lashes, and how to blend out your eyeshadow. So I feel like I have done all three on my channel before, but because this is a new series, I am going through everything from scratch. Today's episode is how to apply your false lashes. I know this is a point of contention for so many people. How do you do it? How do you apply false eyelashes? And I'll be very honest with you guys, it is not easy. Like, it's not something that you just pick up immediately unless you're like a superwoman or whatever it is, Superman. Everyone's techniques are different, everyone's ways to apply false lashes are different depending on what works for you. I've just done skin and brows today, and so I'm gonna set up my eye for eyelash application. I like to, on a daily basis, keep my eye very neutral. I think, but for the purposes of this video, I need to put on a little bit of eyeshadow because we're going to do a very beginner sort of friendly approach to applying eyelashes, and also because I want to use this new palette from Urban Decay. I went to Joburg last week and we went to the Urban Decay Naked Reloaded launch, and basically just gave us the eyeshadow and an eyeshadow primer. And then here we have the eyeshadow palette. The palette itself is a little bit smaller than I think what we're used to seeing from the Urban Decay Naked palettes. It's a lot more slim, a lot more compact. You can feel that when you hold it compared to the other eyeshadow palettes. If you just look at the sizes of these two boxes, you can definitely see there's a difference in size and obviously width. Very neutral and usable for sort of everyday makeup looks, so I think that's really nice. And this is the most affordable naked palette from Urban Decay, retailing for 695 Rand. I'm gonna go in with the shade over here called it's called Boundaries, which is the second to last pan. And what they've done with this eyeshadow palette is that the colors that you would consider your transition shades, your everyday sort of the shades that you would use most, they have made the pan bigger. So if you look at Boundaries, which is the shade I want to go into now, Boundaries and the one next to it, which is called Blur. So Boundaries and Blur and this one on the end are much larger compared to the colors in the middle. So I'm just going to take a large sort of like fluffy shader brush, and I'm just going to go in with Boundaries in my crease space. I could potentially see this as an everyday shade. You guys know when I do my everyday makeup look and I just use like my bronzer as like my eyeshadow color, this could really perform really well. I'm just going in circular motions. Okay, so I'm going in with Bucked in the crease. It has a bit more of a cool tone to it, which is aiding us in creating a shadow in our crease. And once again, this is something you can get away with doing on an everyday basis. I think it's neutral, it's nude, and pretty much can take you through the whole day. All of my makeup is still in my makeup bag from traveling last week. I haven't had time to unpack everything, so this is how I'm filming this tutorial. I'm digging from this bag. I'm cutting my crease, but I'm not doing it too like clinically. All I want is a nice base because I want to put a light shade on my lid area. Oh, one thing I've noticed about this palette is it doesn't come with a brush. I think that's why it's a lot smaller. Looking at the eye now, I actually don't know if I'm happy. So I'm gonna go back in and sort of just put back color, you know, on my crease and sort of cover up this cut crease that we've done. And I'm just gonna add just a nice pop of shimmer in the center of the eye. So I have this pigment from Ciate London, and I think I'm gonna use this in the middle of my lid space. I'm taking that to the next level with some MAC Dazzle Shadow Liquid, and I'm just popping this in the center of that lid. I don't think I've done sparkle on my eyes in ages. Okay, so it's time to set up your eyes for some eyeshadow work. And what you want to do is you want to coat your lashes with some mascara. So I coat my top lashes and my bottom lashes. I'm using my By Terry Lash Expert mascara. The purpose of putting mascara on your lashes is to better blend out your falsies with your lashes. I'm not the best at mascara on my bottom lashes. I'm very impatient. I rush it when I shouldn't. But if you have more patience than me, I would suggest that you take your time in this step. So it's up to you which lashes you want to use to apply your falsies. I used to start off with the Eyeliner 117s, but as time has progressed and as more dramatic I have gotten, I sort of just like a very bold lash, even for every day. There's this brand that I've recently come across that's available at Clicks, and it's called Lash Addict Lashes. I don't know who owns them. The chick on the back has like the biggest lips filled with filler. I really did enjoy them. So they are pricey. They are $2.50 a pack, but you don't have to get these. Eyeliner lashes range from like 50 rand to, yeah, like 50 rand plus. So it just depends on the type. These are super full, super glam, and they imitate like mink lashes. They're 3D, but this is essentially what a strip lash looks like. It has the hairs, and then it has a strip, obviously, which is where you will apply your glue, this curved bit in the inner part there. So that's essentially what a strip lash looks like. When you apply strip lashes, the hairs at the shorter end will be in your inner corner, and the longer end will flare out on the outside. The lash glue I like to use is the Duo Lash Glue. You can pick this up at MAC, you can pick it up at Inglot. It's quite pricey if you pick it up from there, but if you buy it from Muse Beauty, it's 180 rand for glue, or I think it's 200 rand now. And then from MAC or Inglot, it's like 300 and something. This literally is $6 in the States, but because we're not there, we have to suffer with import and VAT and tax. So I take some out and I squeeze some out to the back of my hand, a moderate amount, about that much. And I always operate with tweezers, and I operate with tweezers because, one, I do generally have long nails on most of the time, but also without those long nails I still feel it easier to hold the lash, to grip the lash and control it and have it exactly where I need to put it when I'm holding it with the tweezers. I'm dipping it into that glue. The strip itself is coated in glue around that semicircle. Dab off the excess in another spot of my hand so that it dries a bit quicker, because I sometimes don't have the patience to let that dry. We're going to repeat that on this other lash. I've worn these lashes before, so I'm just taking off the glue from the previous wear with tweezers again. That's what I like about the Duo Lash Glue, is it's easy to take off the dried up old glue. The trick with the glue is that you want to wait for it to get a little bit tacky, and by tacky I mean if you were to touch it, it'll feel a bit sticky when you let go of it. That is a nice texture for the glue to have before you apply it onto your lid, onto your lash. What I like to do is look down as I'm applying, because then I can see exactly how close I'm getting it to my lash. And I hold the lash with the tweezers in the middle of the lash, but I start connecting it in the inner corner. It doesn't have to be stuck down yet. I just want to place it as close to my lash line as possible, and then I can make sure it's stuck on. And I just keep going back and forth, and then I use my hand. When it's that right consistency, it almost makes the job easier, because it's then like a magnet, and it just sticks on, and then it's just up to you to just place it more strategically. If it's too wet, you'll find that it just slips and slides and it wasn't ready to be stuck down. And if it's too dry, it obviously is not going to stick down because the glue is already dry. So having it at that real exact point where it's like tacky is really ideal. You don't have to blow on it. It'll be tacky by the time you finish putting glue on this one. And if you don't feel like it's dry enough, you can just wave it in the air like this and so forth. And I like having this excess glue on my hand, because as I'm busy, this one is drying down and warming up. And I feel like with my other lash, it has dried up a little bit too much, especially at the corners. I just go back at the back of my hand and I pick up some of that glue. Mind you, it's not fresh from the tube. It also has become a little bit tacky, so I don't have to wait as much when I am applying this one. Here I go, applying this lash. Once again, I'm looking down to see if it's getting as close to my lash line as possible, and I'm working to hold that down. What I like about the Duo Lash Glue, especially in the clear color, is that it obviously dries clear. You will not see the whiteness once it's dry. And you know, not all eyelash glues are made equal. That's one thing I can tell you right now. Like, I have tried them all. Inside the eyeliner packets, just forget about it. Just don't use that. It's not good. They don't hold your lashes in place. And most of the time you'll think that it's you who doesn't know how to put on lashes, but it's 99% the glue that you use, trust me. So I would really encourage you to invest in Duo Lash Glue. I think it's one of the best. And you can also try the Huda Beauty Lash Glue. So one more trick I want to share with you guys is, obviously your whole game was to try and get this lash as close to your lash line as possible. If you fail to, which is what I tend to do a lot of the time, you can use this little trick of taking a liquid liner and just aligning the top of that band, just so that everything is cohesive. And just a very light line in case you feel like you're a bit messy and you just need a bit of help. It just makes a difference as well, and it really just elongates your eye. If you want to take that wing liner all the way, if you did start off with a wing liner and you did a cat eye, that'll make applying the lash even more easier. So that, you guys, is the finished look. This is how I get my eyelashes down on an everyday basis. One thing to remember, guys, is that with the eyelash game, practice makes perfect. I mean, it's so difficult to get this right the first time, second, third, fourth, fifth time, or sixth time. Like, it's gonna take you a while, and I don't think I'm an expert at it. There are days when if I'm in a rush and I just know I need time to put on lashes, I just won't, because the anxiety that comes with it. Like, you just don't breathe when you're applying lashes. Like, it takes time. And if I were you, I would just practice on an everyday basis, even if you're not going anywhere, or it is just to put them on and take them off again. Just the technique to apply it as close to your eyelash line as possible, I think, is what you need to focus on. I did strongly consider doing a look where I could do a cat eye, and then it would be so much easier to apply the lash on top of a liner, because then you don't have to work as hard as getting it too close to your lash line. But I feel like that's almost saying driving with an automatic before you learn how to drive a manual. Like, it's once you learn how to do it like that, and you can't do it the way where you can just do it without a liner, you're going to restrict yourself to one look the whole time. So you will find that using a liquid liner is so much easier if you do that wing the eye first. But honestly, if you make a mistake, you can always go back with a liquid liner and go on top of that strip if you do make any areas and boo-boos and stuff. Remember that applying mascara on your own lashes before helps you in making sure everything is blended out, and you know, it looks seamless as one as well. So that's one trick, you guys, I suggest that you do as well, just to make everything look more neat and put together for your eye look. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it was informative. I hope it wasn't too fast for you. So let me know in the comments down below if you do succeed in trying to put on your eyelashes this week. These lashes I use in today's video, very dramatic, they're very glam, so it's not everyone's cup of tea. I would suggest that you can try the eyeliner 117s, which are available at Clicks. Those are my favorite lashes. They also come with pre-glued, so you can actually practice just applying those, attaching those to your lashes with the adhesive strip that it comes with. I personally, when I buy them, I buy 2 at a time, take off that strip and stack them together. Yes, because we are that dramatic. But I feel like the eyeliner 117s are perfect for beginners, and I think I used them in my other lash tutorial, so I will link that other lash tutorial down below so that you guys can see exactly how I did it with those lashes, because they are probably a lot more classic, a lot more natural compared to these super glam ones that I am wearing today. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel to join our little family, and I will see you soon. Bye.